This week, 484 new stalls were installed throughout the United States and Canada, bringing the total stall count to 70,978 and moving the progress towards 180,000 DC fast charger ports recommended to be needed by 2030, according to the 2023 National Renewable Energy Laboratory study, is 39.43%. IONNA added 2 stations, Ready added 4, Flow added 2, Pilot Flying J added 3, Tesla added 8, Electrify America added 6, ChargePoint added 19. Let's go ahead and get into the data. First, IONNA, they opened 2, the Daytona Beach Rechargery right next to the International Speedway, which you can be seen over here, and Grand Prairie, Texas opened just today. Ready opened 4, including this 6-stall one. There's not really a good picture of it, but this is what it looks like in Massachusetts. And then 3 2-stall stations, which is pretty common for them. Flow added 2 stations. This one in New Brunswick. A very common looking Flow station. Very hardy and reliable. Pilot Flying J added 3, including this 6-stall station in Wildwood, Florida, which is off script for them. Normally they stick with 4-stall stations, but they're starting to be seen here and in Yuma, Arizona with 6 stalls. So it looks like they're starting to do a pivot away from 4, moving to 6. Also, Pearl, Mississippi opened just last night. Fargo, North Dakota opened not too long ago as well. Here's Tesla, and this 48 stall here is in a parking garage in Connecticut, which is unusual. Not only is it unusual because Tesla is indoors, but it is a pretty large financial commitment for a parking garage operator or the shopping center operator in order to commit 48 stalls. And there's a little bit of confusion because when I was looking this up on the internet, everyone was saying this was 24 stalls, but they populated 48 stalls. I don't know if that's a clerical error or if everyone who was putting pictures on the internet of this station couldn't count to 48. So something strange there. Otherwise, Tesla doing what Tesla does, which is kicking ass, taking names, and mopping the floor with everyone else. 8 very large stations in 1 week. And just to put in perspective, we kind of gloss over these, but each one of these stations is like at least a year's worth of work. You know, you've got construction, permitting, utility hookups, and it's truly remarkable that they're able to sustain this amount of forward progress with the build of the Tesla Supercharger network week after week after week. Electrify America had an absolutely fabulous week. This one here in Santa Monica, California, is 20 stalls. Let me go ahead and drop my video. 20 stalls, and it actually hit the wires. They did a press release about this. There are no attached amenities, though. I mean, there's some adjacent businesses that offer food and perhaps convenience services, but Electrify America is basically just stalls in a parking lot. And it was just a vacant mall. They basically completely took over this plot of land, and it looks like they purchased the land. They put in the asphalt. So this is a very large build for them. But you can see there's also this 10-stall station in Manteca, California, I believe is how it's pronounced. And then an additional 4 6-stall stations, one of which at an IKEA store in Renton, Washington. So this is a very busy week for Electrify America, and it's very impressive that they're continuing builds at this rate. Here's ChargePoint. Similarly had a very good week. This Optimus Energy in Alabama, there's no pictures on PlugShare yet for stalls. And I have a picture of this first row here, which I'll talk about in just a second. Another 4-stall in Montana. And Salt Lake City got a 2-stall just today. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is either a horrible display of failure to communicate, or something I'm not fully understanding. There's a cornfield, there's a single wide that doesn't have central air, that has a window mounted air conditioning unit, and it looks like this is a house because, you know, you look at the backyard, there's a garbage can and a picnic table with an umbrella kind of worn down, and 2 DC fast chargers right in the front yard. Not sure what's going on here. When you zoom out and you look at it, Sandpiper Seafood is actually, this is the parking lot for Sandpiper Seafood, and this may be a business where they put this in front of, but it just seems a very strange location in order to put a charging station in front of a single wide that backs up to a cornfield. Circle K added their periodic update to the alternative fuels data center with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stations getting added. One of which in the French, or in Canada. Normally the French-speaking area of Canada is where this Couche-Tard gets added, but this is British Columbia. Here's a picture of what they look like in the United States. This is Page, Arizona. It's a very characteristic and recognizable 180 kilowatt ABB Terra 184 that Circle K favors. Blink had a good week, but I'm going to be calling out this one row right here, Power Up Plaza in Chicago, Illinois. The other ones are just kind of very common activity for Blink. But the one in Chicago, I'm actually born and raised in Chicago, and if you look, the city is here, and right here is what's known as the Loop, which is the downtown vicinity. And this section of Chicago is a pretty tough neighborhood. It's not where you would expect to see what Blink put in. And this is a before picture of what the plot looked like. It's just basically an abandoned piece of asphalt. And they turned it into a fenced-in charging station with, what was it? It was 16 stalls in a underserved area of western Chicago. So very noble effort by Blink. And actually, this is probably wise business decision because in some of these underserved areas, people like to drive electric vehicles and it's hard to get charging, and to put a large station right in the middle of one of these densely populated neighborhoods, I'm sure it's going to get heavily used by the locals just trying to get to and from work with their electric vehicles. So very likely this station, which is coined Power Up Plaza in western Chicago, is going to get very heavily used. Thanks for watching.